What's going on, fam? Welcome to TSC Unleashed. We're in the building. What's going on, family? A couple of hours off our regular time for scheduling, schedule conflict, obviously. I have to give a big shout out to TJ, man. TJ invited me on the show earlier today. I'd like to give a brother a big shout out. Great brother doing good stuff over there. Really proud of me. A fellow brother out of the lower nine, man. So anytime I can work with one of them guys to help him out, we can do something together. That's big deal. So got much love for that dude. Appreciate it. All right, in this edition of TSC Unleashed, we'll be covering the latest NBA news, NBA playoffs in the building, a fantastic contest with the Houston Rockets. We're gonna get into it today. I'm Big Q chiming on TSC Unleashed. I'm bringing in my co-host, Uncle Mozzie. How you doing, fam?
I'm all right. I'm good. How you doing today, brother?
Doing good, my brother. Doing good, man. We got a couple of contests here in the NBA playoffs, man. Shoot. It was a really, really good game, man. Like we talked about those game sevens, Mozzie. We've been seeing a lot of them, man. The Rockets barely got with James Harden with a key block toward the end of the game. Was able to kind of get this thing, man. I mean, and let me tell you, Dort was balling, man. 30 points in the affair, man, but 104 to 102. That's how close it came to the Rockets getting eliminated out of the playoffs with a very upstart OKC team. I mean, if you look at what the Rockets did, let's break it down. In the matchup, Harden, 17 points, struggled this one, 14 out of 15, 1 of 9 from downtown, wasn't in the cards. 17 points, 21 points from Eric Gordon. He woke up in this one. 20 points from Russell Westbrook. You talked about that, Uncle Mozzie, that Russell Westbrook had to step up. He had 34 minutes, 20 points. He had 9 rebounds in the matchup, 9 of 20 from the field, all of 2 from downtown, 20 points, 21 from Robert Covington, who stepped up in the game, and then 13 off the bench from Jeff Green. Helped them to take this matchup 104-102, despite the Dort's 30 and Chris Paul's 19 and 12 assists. What do you think about this matchup?
Well, I mean, we talked about that yesterday. Westbrook either had to step up or step out. That was the only options that we had. He did step up, although it's not in mid-season form. As we've known to grow and love him, but he stepped up enough to put them under, and they don't have anything to be ashamed of. I mean, these people were written off, so to force a game 7 and on that stage against the team they had a legit shot at winning, I don't think they should have anything to be ashamed of. I don't think they should have anything to hang their heads about. But I mean, this came down to a straight coaching decision. I watched the game, and I just don't understand why we had 7'2" Adams setting a high screen or a high pick instead of rotating towards the basket and just get a lob over a 6'3", 6'4" defender that was fronting him. Maybe 6'5" at the most. They have him listed at 6'5". Regardless, we all know Adams is like 7'1", 7'2". So you're giving up 6-7 inches of height easily. And I mean, those are the last second shot. You got a second and a half left. Something you could easily rotate to the basket, just grab it, and at least put yourself in a position to tie it up with maybe something off the glass, a catch and shoot, anything. When you have the matchup, scenario right there.
Yeah, a lot of curious moves toward the back end of it, but the Rockets they took advantage where the confusion was on the Thunder's part. They were able to squeak it out 102. That was really close, man. This Thunder team pushed them to the brink of elimination, and they barely scraped through. So I mean, that's very telling, man. And going into the matchup, because I think and we'll preview this coming up real soon, but they face the Lakers coming up soon. So that I don't know, man. You go to 7-game series with the OKC Thunder with a motivated Chris Paul, getting these other young guys involved in a well-coached team. Man, that's just gonna be interesting, man. But anyway, let's talk about the next matchup here, Uncle Mozzie. The Miami Heat, man, took on the Milwaukee Bucks. They beat them 116 to 114. They're up 2 games to nothing. And that was a lot more. And once again, another 2-point affair. You know, these games are getting really more stiffer here. And if you look at the matchup here with the Heat, what they were able to produce, 23 points from Goran Dragic in the matchup. Crowder threw in 16 points, 13 from Jimmy Butler on 3 of 8 shooting from the field. He was 0 of 2. Not too much from Jimmy, kind of chilled a bit, but he took his foot off the pedal because he didn't need to play high like that. 36 points, the rest of his people had his back. Bam Adebayo, 15 points in the matchup with 9 rebounds in 33 minutes. Off the bench, Kelly Olynyk had a pretty decent affair, 11 points and 5 rebounds, 16 minutes. And then 17 from Tyler Hero. Hero has really been huge. An unsung hero for this Miami Heat team off the bench. 32 minutes, 6 of 13 from the field, 3 of 8 3-point shooting. The man finished with 17 points and 5 rebounds with 4 assists to help propel them over the Bucks. Giannis, 29 points in the matchup, Mozzie, in 36 minutes, 10 of 8 from the field, 18 from the field, 29 and 14, 29 points, 14 rebounds for the Greek Freak. Middleton threw in some pointage as well, 23 points with 8 assists and 6 rebounds in 33 minutes. So Middleton's doing what he's supposed to. Even Lopez threw 16 points in there. Bledsoe showed up, dumped 16 points in there. Wes Matthews was a no-show. 14 off the bench from Hill. Wasn't enough. They go down to the Miami Heat, 2 games. They lose 116 and 114. They're 2 in the hole against the Heat. What happens here? Mozzie, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here. I didn't know you had finished all the way. Yeah, but we talked about this yesterday as well. They're not scared of them. They can definitely do it. They did it in the regular season. So I don't know what makes them think that they can't do it in the postseason, especially when it comes time, in the bubble, and it comes down to coaching and veteran leadership. Jimmy Butler, the same guy I've been telling you last week and a half, 2 weeks about. It all came, down to his play and Coach Spo and the moves that they made. Complete idiotic move on Giannis, man, to jump out there and foul with less than a second left in the game.
Right.
Completely idiotic. But I mean, he's a new age player, a child of the internet. He didn't want to get drugged on the internet and on Twitter and on Instagram for not stepping out when everybody's saying, "Hey, you're a legit 7-footer. You're the leader of the team. You got to make it happen. You got to do something." He kind of overcompensated, and we saw what that resulted in. Did they outplay the Heat? They did, down to the last second of the game, and the last second or two of the game. It was for the fourth quarter anyway, and they fought their way back in the game, and they gave it up in the end. But that's why you play the entire game, and you make sure that the referees on anywhere in position of proximity to relieve you of your duties, as they did Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks last night.
Yeah, Giannis, man, I don't know if he's ever gotten this amount of criticism from the national press, but they are seeking and focusing on him directly, challenging his leadership ability, challenging him, and it might be getting to him. I think Coach Bud is going to have to kind of talk to him, kind of settle him down a bit and make him understand this was a lot better effort.
Yeah, he didn't grow up with this. He didn't grow up in this type of environment, under this type of pressure and duress in Greece. It's a whole different ball of wax. And they're going to have to get him to convert over and understand what's going on and deal with that and cope with it. Otherwise, I just don't think he's mentally tough enough. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and these are questions asking about Giannis that we didn't previously ask about him, because nobody really took the Milwaukee Bucks, serious about anything until the recent years, when they just took it up a notch. So, I mean, we'll see with Giannis. I think he's a pretty damn good player, and sooner or later, hopefully he'll figure this thing out and keep moving forward. 29 points. Now, the first game he had 18, so this is a lot better outing, but just a silly mistake later in the late seconds of the game ultimately hurt the Bucks. But they're well coached. Do they, the next game coming around, it's definitely a must win. They have to win that next game to stay alive in the series, because Spoelstra and the Heat ain't playing. They're ready to push them up out of here. All right, let's go into today's game that's on the docket. 5:30 p.m. Central Time. The Raptors, who are in a hole themselves. Speaking of in a hole with the Bucks, the Raptors are in a hole as well. Down 2-0 to the Celtics, man. The Celtics, 2-0. And of course, Nick Nurse and Coach Nurse has to have this team ready to be able to fight this Celtic club off and get a win to keep this series alive, man. Siakam, he's going to have to step up. So is Van Vliet and the rest of these guys. against the Celtics. They're well coached. They're playing with a lot of intensity. Jason Tatum, Smart, and Brown, the rest of these guys, they off the chain. Mozzie, man, you picked the Celtics as a dark horse team. I as well did too. I knew the Celtics were going to be a fierce team to deal with in the playoffs, going deep into the playoffs. The Raptors are the defending champs, but the Celtics really showing them that, listen, man, we are here now. Y'all guys had it for a little bit. We're here to take it from you. And that's what they look like. What happens tonight in this third match? Do the Celtics go up 3-0, or do the Raptors kind of gain a little ground in the series?
3 games. You know it's going to be 3-0. It's undoubtedly going to be 3-0. My favorite team going into the playoffs, and I stick with it. And we already got that bet down, so we good on that part. But it's definitely going to be Celtics 3-0. And after this is just going to be the Raptors. They'll topple them, and that's going to be it. Toronto doesn't belong there. They didn't belong there all year. I don't think they belong there tonight. The Celtics. I'm going back. It does pan out, but I'm gonna need some help for this one.
So you picking the Celtics to go up 3-0 on the Raptors tonight?
Sweep. Sweep.
So you saying a sweep? It's over with. It's done data. It's over with.
Done deal.
Is that the Swami talking, or is that Mozzie talking? Just want to make sure.
Both.
I'd rather hear from the Swami over Mozzie. I'd rather hear from the Swami than Mozzie, because the Swami and Mozzie don't always. Their predictions.
The Swami and Mozzie are both in agreement. It's like Professor Hulk is Professor Mozzie at this time, right? So it's one of the same being. I'm 100% confident in what I'm saying. I'm not delusional. I'm not smoking crack. It is what it is. I'm looking for Boston to sweep these people. I'm predicting a sweep, yeah.
Okay, all right.
I'm predicting a sweep. I'm predicting it a game earlier than everybody else, because I know they got a lot of people that want to say it. They just scared to say it because they don't want to look the fool, because this is the defending champs. But I'm going to say it up front, and I'm going to let you know I'm predicting a sweep right now. That's it. It's over with.
All right, there it is. Uncle Mozzie says Celtics take care of business tonight, 5:30 Central Time against the Raptors. We'll see, man. I think the Raptors steal at least one of these games here. Going in the end. Okay, all right, we're gonna see. 8 o'clock. I ain't gonna bet a shrimp on it though. I know better than bet against you. All right, 8 o'clock tonight Central Time. The Denver Nuggets, man. This is a really good series that's firing up here. After the Nuggets had a very close series with the Utah Jazz, this is also Uncle Mozzie's. The Swamis picked to represent the West. Am I right here? That the Denver Nuggets are your team to go to the NBA Finals? Is that what you said, or just be in Western Conference Finals?
To play the Lakers, yes, that's correct.
Okay, all right. So the Nuggets and the Clippers. Game 1 starts tonight. Really nice matchup. Malone. The Clippers have been sitting there waiting. Now they get an opportunity to take on. This will be a real interesting series. So Nikola Jokic is there. Kawhi Leonard was balling as well, averaging about 27 points a game, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. He doing this thing. Jokic in the 20 points a game with 10 rebounds and 7 assists. This guy's fantastic. What is your vantage point on what happens with the Nuggets and Clippers tonight?
Pretty much the same thing that I told you. I don't curtail my statements or eat my words. I told you from the jump, I like Denver, and I still like Denver. I like Denver and the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. And then depending on how long it takes LA, what I see out of LA from this Houston series, and how long it takes them to win this Houston series, if indeed they do, then I'll go ahead and I might extend my prediction and be a little bit more bold going into the actual Western Conference Finals. But right now, I call myself being nice. I'm being nice by giving you guys the leeway, saying, okay, you know what? I'm thinking that you guys are, but now you're disrespecting my team. You're disrespecting my team and you're disrespecting my pick. And I don't like that. I'm here to tell you, I think Denver is going to win tonight. I don't think they're going to sweep, but I do think they're going to have an easier time against the Clippers than they did, strictly because of matchup issues. But I think they're going to have a lot easier time with the Clippers. I think that this series will be over in, I'm going to go ahead and predict 5. That's my early picking. I'm thinking 5. I think the Clippers are who we think they are. I think that they're a slightly above average team. I think they're really, a fairly good team. And but I think that I don't think they play really good team ball. I don't think they play they match up well against Denver, and I'm looking for Denver to have a really good series against them and beat them in 5, maybe 6. I'll do that much. I'll extend it to 5 or 6. I'll do that much for you. But I mean, hey, I told y'all who this Denver team was, and everybody thought I was crazy when they went down 3-1. Oh man, but look what happened. They rattled off three straight victories, put these people to bed, and now I'm the one, who looks like I had the inside track all along. Like I had, I got on the phone with somebody from the organization. They say we're gonna do this game. Like I had the whole game plan. But that's just what I do. I'm a swami. As I'm predicting this Boston sweep, I'm predicting that in 5 or 6, Denver takes this series.
That says a lot, man, because the Clippers are a lot different than anybody else. Now, you can say what you will about Utah, who put up a competitive series, but a shot here or there, the series differs. But the Nuggets coming against the Clippers are a fantastic team. Paul George and himself, along with Leonard, man, they're balling. So, I mean, this look like to me they're starting to gel, they're starting to sync together, but you call it. So you said you'll see the Nuggets in 6 games. We'll see. All right, so let's move on to our NFL news, family. For a lot of people out there, we're going to cover a little bit what's going on in the NFL. Just to let some of the people know today, with our NFL look, the Patriots. That's right, the Patriots who signed who I call Cam Chowder. Cam Chowder, that's funny. Cam Chowder, or Cam Newton of the Patriots, was named the starting quarterback. A lot of speculation that he wouldn't, but of course it's official today. Bill Belichick is naming Cam Newton the starter for the Patriots. Is that a surprise to anybody? Not to me.
Nope.
All right, let's move to the next move. A trade has happened as the Jaguars continue to deal some of their key pieces. They traded the safety Harrison to the Browns for a few picks right there, as they are bottoming. Like we said, hashtag trashing for Trevor. It's in full effect with Jacksonville. And they're getting people started early. Let them know this is a lost season. And of course, some rumors on the back of that is that they're setting themselves up to go after Trevor Lawrence. Not to mention, there are rumors circulating around that they're also going to make a run at Dabo Sweeney. I'm throwing that in there just in case y'all don't know. All right, let's keep it moving. Also, to let people know that the Seahawks re-signed suspended receiver Gordon. Josh Gordon is back in the league with the Seahawks. They re-signed
Remember
him.
He blew my fantasy last year? I was so mad, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I wanted to fly to New England and personally stick my foot in his ass. I was so mad, bro. You told me. You tried to warn me, and I thought I had the coldest game ever, and I didn't listen. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm still a little shell-shocked behind that.
Nah, he did his thing last year, but they re-signed him, the suspended wide receiver. Gordon, who's 29, applied for reinstatement in mid-June after he was suspended indefinitely last December. So I guess indefinite suspensions aren't indefinite. As he violated league policies on performance-enhancing substance and substance abuse. This dude is one of the luckiest people in the world. This guy has to get it right. This is ridiculous, man. He has to stay in the league. The source told ESPN's Jerry Fowler that Gordon's reinstatement process is going well, so the Seahawks got started Wednesday on a deal to bring him back. Goodell has been overseeing Gordon's reinstatement attempt, and you're starting to see a softer Goodell simply because of the environment of what's going on in the country. Let me tell you. He is soft in his stance and doing a lot of things different. The AB situation when Antonio Bryan stepped up and commanded them to do what they was going to do. Several days later, a very quick time frame, they issued out punishment for him so that people can know that what he's looking like going forward. But this is good news for Antonio Bryan. If you can bring Josh Gordon back, who was indefinitely suspended, he signed with the Seahawks. After Antonio Bryant suspension is over with, you could possibly see a spot with him. And the way it's building out, I know just the perfect place for him to land, Tampa Bay, wherever goddamn body else landed. What you think about some of these news items we covered? Gordon's reinstatement, him coming back, the trades that happen as Jacksonville keeps bottom out, and of course Patriots naming Cam Newton as a starter.
Well, Cam Newton, let's get to that first. That was never a shock or a surprise to me. I mean, that was such a big media free fall. We all knew that where he was going and what time that was and why he was going over there and why it was such a big deal. So that we could eliminate that had no bearing on anything. Gordon, man, listen, man, I don't know what kind of tape he has on Goodell, or what type of information or insider information he has on Goodell. But like, man, this has got to be stopped. What's this, like number 6, 5, 6? And
I,
you're right. If they let him back in the league, they gotta at least explore AB, right? But I mean, that further goes to show you, and this is why I'm upset, is because when you look at people like Cap, you know, they chased him out of the league, and ain't nobody heard how hell hit him 4 years. But this guy can't fail. He can't pass the substance abuse policy for the NFL, and they keep giving him chance after chance after chance after chance. And I mean, at some point, it's got to stop. Now, I'm not a hater, and I'm not going to hate on anybody's position or anything like that. But I mean, come on, man, it's got to, at some point, enough is enough. That's just my standpoint, on that. Um, um, I don't know. I don't know. I think they definitely got to revisit some of these scenarios, some of these stances that they've taken. And you're right. I think that because of the climate, now is the time more than ever. If you've ever been in trouble in the NFL, or you've been one of the people that's on the fence in any sport, MLB, MLS, NBA, whatever. Now's the time I think you can get away with a lot more than you could have ever gotten away with before, simply because of the fact they're going to be giving you more, they'll be more lenient and give you the benefit of the doubt, because they don't want a gang of people showing up at their doorsteps, because they don't want to lose more money than they've already lost between the BLM movement and COVID-19 here in 2020. So here is the time you can get away with pretty much anything, but make no mistake, either he has a nudie tape, a snuff tape, or or it's just, I mean, the changes that have, the BLM movements are really putting the pressure on the back of some of the higher ups and kind of forcing them to do things they wouldn't traditionally have done. We saw it with Jerry Jones last week. Here we see it with Goodell this week. So we've come a long way just in the last 3-4 years, and hopefully it continues to head the direction. And I do wish Gordon all the best luck in the world. But on the 5th or 6th time, I keep telling you what my mom and my daddy always told me: where there's smoke, there's fire. And I mean, we got plenty of smoke, so somebody got a pack of matches in their hand somewhere.
yeah, and yeah. Hopefully he can stay clean, man. This is ridiculous, man, and hopefully he can ship it. How many? You can never say that the NFL is a league that don't belong giving people opportunities, because this Josh Gordon kid was supposed to be just cut off a long time ago. But as far as the Antonio Brown's suspension, he was served 8 games. That was announced a month ago by the commission. They gave him 8-game suspension. So once that situation is cleared, then he'll be free to come and play football in the NFL if that's what he wants to do. He's currently retired right now, and I'm pretty sure once the suspension is over with, he'll come back and he'll be ready. So half the season he'll be back if he wants to play this year. We'll see, man. This is a tough year, and we'll be able to watch a lot of it going on, man, with what you said, with a lot of them riots and a lot of the instability. But to add, more information on top of the Jerry Jones and all this other stuff, Goodell you spoke about, Daniel Snyder's another dude you could throw on top of that bunch. As an investigation is happening with the Washington Redskins, and then they're saying that ex-employees of Daniel Snyder wants him removed as owner of the football team. And of course, we've known a lot of this is going on with them, as a lot of former players come out. I mean, a lot of the former employees of the team were talking about sexual harassment and stuff like that was going on. And then the NFL came in. The NFL came in and started an investigation of its own, but a report that came out via ESPN's Jeremy Schaap on Outside the Lines is documenting, saying that the story is some of it ongoing for 2 decades, the type of stuff that's been going on with the Redskins under Snyder's leadership. And of course, Snyder was a guy that a lot of people felt, wouldn't ultimately, a lot of people was trying to go at him to get the name changed. He kind of stood for a while, but then like Mozzie said, the whole timeline flipped relatively fast, really fast. You would think that change comes incrementally. Nah, it happened just like that. And he had to come up with a new name of the football team. Couldn't do it. Came up with this ridiculous Washington football team name because the reason was behind the scenes was that they had a guy that bought up all the names and that he was negotiating with the guy to try to get the name that they wanted, which was the Red Wolves. And somebody else owned that name, so he didn't want to pay the man that much money. What a cheapskate. He would have had, he could have been able to rebrand the team relatively quick instead of just naming them the Washington football team. Absolutely a numbskull. But in the report is saying that it's certainly not about making a hire or changing policy, which is Banks, who was one of the reporters talking about in the report, told Shap the tone, the culture comes from the top. And here I don't see us having meaningful change without a change in ownership. Washington spoke to 40 ex-employees who described the persuasive and atmosphere of sexual harassment. They also said they did not allege that Snyder was involved, but one employee, Brad Baker, said that a video was made for Snyder from a secret footage of a cheerleader shoot in 2008. Other employees denied the charge. Snyder has denied that he requested such a video, but former employee blamed Snyder for creating an environment they called toxic. Quote, he's 100% responsible, end quote, says one of the people. Snyder said in a statement that he would be more involved in various matters to ensure situations like this aren't repeated. One former employer said she was disappointed that Snyder termed the articles as a hit job in a statement last week, saying it showed to her things wouldn't change. So he's taken a lot of hitting in this one, and also the NFL is getting involved and all this kind of stuff. And this is also on the back of what's happening with the Jets. So a lot of these guys, man, that was rocking with the red team, they're catching the hit right now, to be honest with you. But what you think on this one here, Mozzie?
Well, I mean, again, I've never been a big Daniel Snyder fan. I can't believe this man. When I saw that, I laughed, man, so hard. He actually, I mean, they're just gonna call the people the football team. It reminded me of Tecmo Bowl when they couldn't afford the actual players before, like licensing became a thing. You remember it was QB Chiefs because they couldn't afford what it was, Joe Montana. Remember that? You remember that, right? It was QB Chiefs and couple other players that they couldn't afford to license the name and then likeness out. So they had to just like name them that QB Chiefs, Washington NFL team, that type of stuff, man. It's just idiotic. And he's always been stubborn and pig-headed. But with that being said, what I do not agree with them being able to forcefully remove him from power under those type of circumstances. Now, if they got something legit on him, cool, whatever. But I mean, when you buy something, even if you want to run it into the ground, when you own something, the whole idea or the ideology of owning something is to have ownership, and to be able to do with it what you want to do with it, within reasonable guidelines or bounds. So I don't see where he's really violated in the NFL. We may not like him as an owner, and some of the decisions that he makes and the way he spends his money and the type of stuff that he just apparently does out of spite. But at the same time, we can't just go in and just forcefully remove him from power and say, okay, well, you don't deserve to have an NFL franchise because we feel this way. That I'm not in agreement with that at all. So with that being said, I think as long as we just keep everything in perspective, kind of just work with him and make it unfavorable for him. If you really want to get to him, stop buying the tickets. That'll hurt him. That'll hit him where it hurts. Stop buying the tickets and demand some type of change. Same thing they just did with the Papa John situation, and when they had to bring Shaq in to be kind of the new face of the thing. The same thing State Farm is doing. I don't know if you noticed what they did with that. They realized they didn't have a whole lot of black customers. You're right, but they realized they didn't have a whole lot of black customers over at State Farm. So I don't know if you noticed over the last 4 or 5 months, Jake from State Farm is gone from a white guy to a black dude, a young black dude with skinny jeans or like skinny khakis. Like, it's masterful how they do it.
Yeah,
and they do it like right in your face.
Yeah, they
do it right in your face, and you don't. Right. So like Jake from State Farm is officially black now. He's no longer white. For those of y'all that didn't know.
But it was cool how they did it because they put the other guy in there and like validated him being there.
The kind of pass the torch. Right. It's crazy. Like they got 2 Jakes. They got a black Jake and a white Jake. That's what they're gonna. That's what they're heading to. And when they do that, it's gonna be like blatant. It's like the black McDonald's commercials always got something in the background playing like this, boom, doo, da, and they got to do two patties, all season patties with special sauce. And like, why do the black McDonald's commercial always have that guy that's got like the sexy voice and shit? Like, what is that about? Two seasoned all beef patties. And then like the white commercials always got the giddy white girl, you know. Come on over to McDonald's. It's a family affair. Like, what is that about? Like,
that's called marketing, baby. That's what that's called.
That's insane to me. Come on over today. It's a family affair only at McDonald's. Well, now our chicken nuggets are $6 for $1. Like, why are you so preppy and animated and happy, bro? Like, what's going on with you? So, yeah, that's kind of what that is, you know. But you gotta let him do his thing, man. Eventually, he's gonna burn out, but you gotta hit him where it hurts. You gotta hit him in the pockets. You gotta stop buying the tickets. Stop buying the merch. Stop parking the car. Stop doing the tailgating. Those are the things that are gonna hurt him and eventually force him into the demands of the public. But we can't go in like gangbusters, guns blazing, and just put him out. I'm not a fan of that because, you know, once you open Pandora's box, it's hard to put the lid back on, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't do that, but I mean, you know, let's go.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, especially in this climate, man. A lot of these corporate people are cleaning up their image. I mean, they're not changing themselves, obviously. That's not a philosophy change. They do understand that if they don't switch, at least change their stances publicly on some stuff, that they can lose a lot of money, man, because they recognize their customer base is becoming a lot more aware than what they were. And that shift in awareness came quite rapidly, and a lot of them weren't ready for it. Daniel Snyder obviously was one of those men that wasn't ready for it. So that'll do it for TSC Unleashed. Now tomorrow we'll cover more NBA playoff talk, man, as well, more NFL talk outside of our Saints and our Pelicans. Perhaps a little boxing talk we'll have for you tomorrow. So, as usual, please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you aren't a subscriber. And please feel free to share TSC Unleashed on your social media today. From me and Maz, I'd like to thank y'all for joining us. We'll see you later on TSC, the Sports Coma. We'll cover the latest camp day, news and notes, interviews, and a lot later on today. So, much love to y'all. Peace out, and we'll see you later.